to strengthen ourselves again in the way that we had been in the past.
That's right.
And I had taken a picture of the door of no return in the island of Gorée in Senegal.
Yes.
And that's when I realized, you know, so many people before us have sacrificed so much, and we're sitting around crying, oh my goodness, I can't do this or I can't do that. We don't have that luxury.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot more work to do. So that's why I came up with that 15-minute speech. And sometimes I have to remind myself, okay, get busy. You had your 15 minutes of weeping. Get back in the game. Get back doing something.
That's right. Amen to that. I like that. Now, you know, your exhibit is currently, does it travel around?
It's designed to go into the classroom. So I'm looking for organizations, and I know this is the time of year that people are starting to do their February scheduling.
Sure.
So I'm looking for organizations, but I did it to go into the classroom because to mount an exhibit every time is just cost prohibitive.
Oh, absolutely.
And this way I can take it, I can change it. For example, I went and did a talk at New York, one of the community colleges, and I focused in on writers because I was doing it through the English department. For Philadelphia, I have the living legends of Philadelphia so that the individuals are all individuals around the city that they could go and see. Or it's just legends of Philly because some of the people I've taken, like John Allen from Freedom Theater, has passed. But he's an important figure in Philadelphia's history.
Yes, he is.
And so he can be included too.
Yes, I'm so glad you did what you did because I remember meeting John Allen.
Yes.
I remember going to Freedom Theater. I mean,
Yes.
come on, that took me back as soon as you said it. I was like, wow.
And it's still in
You know?
existence.
Yes.
It's still a very powerful force in the community.
Fantastic, good work. So, you know, of course, we have this writers' conference and book fair coming up October the 6th at the State Museum.
Right.
And we're hoping that you're going to be there. To,
Yes.
You know, it would be wonderful if you could bring part of your exhibit there. If not, I know you can't bring it
Well,
all.
we can
but
talk about that, and maybe
let's
I
talk
can bring in
about
a
it,
few of those
that
individuals
would be
back.
fantastic because what we need to do is expose people to it.
Yes.
And then maybe, you know, the school districts might want to bring you in or
Right.
whatever because this is just too good. So now, the other thing I like is that you have some people in here I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to this. So, for example, you have Thelma Robinson. She's a storyteller.
Yes, I captured this image of Thelma. Thelma is an elder, and she was walking with her cane, and I took a look at this cane, and it was this man. And I said, Thelma, hold it up. Let him tell him a story. And that was how I was able to capture that image. Thelma tells these wonderful stories about Philadelphia. For example, she has a poem about the first black trolley car driver and how he had to be protected by the National Guard. And so it was a moment in history that she talks about. So she has these fantastic stories that she tells because she's been around for so long so that she can bring it alive to the kids. Now, it was interesting. Thelma heard me or saw me have some photos that I took of Senegal, and she got so enthused. She said, I'd never thought about traveling to Senegal until she saw this picture of the door of no return. So she actually went to Senegal because she heard this poem, and she got to Senegal and she herself wrote another poem about that experience. And so I include this because kids, it's for me, the main part of this exhibit is that it's an occupational tool to talk to kids about other occupations they may never have thought of. Thelma can make a living as a storyteller.
Yes, absolutely.
So that was another reason why I did this exhibit, because I had gone to a school to talk to kids about what do you want to be when you grow up. One little boy said, I want to be a drug dealer.
Come on.
And he was dead serious, and the other kids laughed, but I thought about it. I said, you know, that might be the only viable occupation that he knows. And if that's the case, we're at fault for not showing him another way of earning a living. So I started doing this exhibit as a way of talking to kids about other occupations that they might never have thought about. So I have attorneys, I have judges, I have storytellers, I have Rodney Sadler, who's a harbor master, and that was one of the photos that you were going to bring up, because kids haven't thought about other possibilities. They know, you know, the mailman or the lawyer, but there's a whole lot of other occupations that they could be trying where the door has already been broken down.
Absolutely.
That they can step into.
No question about it. In a setting in the classroom, the teacher's standing right there, but you don't think you can be a teacher. Of course you can be a teacher one day. But yeah, you have to think that way. It's amazing. You know, by the way, you mentioned storytelling. You know, every month here we do storytelling as well. And we're forming a newly formed arm of the National Black Storytellers Association, and they're having their big conference in Baltimore in November. But we're getting some people together, and literally we have through what's called the Writers' Workshop, African American storytelling every month for young people. And it's the first Friday of every month. And We just talked to the Boys and Girls Club of Harrisburg, and hopefully going to start doing it there for their young people, since they have so many wonderful young people
Yeah,
going there.
because the
as well.
reason when you want me at the book fair is because I've written 2 books. So
Absolutely.
I
We're
had
going to
get
talk
there.
about your books in a minute
Okay.
here, too.
All
Let's
right.
go. Now, you did mention also Rodney Sadler, a maritime expert. Let's talk about Rodney Sadler for this a little bit in this wonderful picture.
I had no idea who this man was. I happened to go to an exhibit at the Maritime Museum in Philadelphia called Black Hands, Blue Seas. And it was covering the 400-year history of blacks in the maritime field.
Wow.
And there was Rodney. There was this man who was from Camden, which is where I grew up. He's been the harbor master for over 20 years in Camden. And I was like, wow. So he happened to be there, and I saw him. I said, okay, do me a favor, stand in front of your exhibit. Let me take a picture of you right in front of this, so that people could see how long he's been around. So a lot of times I'm able to capture individuals in that way, that I just happen to go somewhere. And that's why it's called In Search of Knowledge. I've included all of these individuals because they either had a book or something of knowledge that I wanted to go and see them.
Fantastic. That's great stuff, man, oh man. And then you also have, lastly, Barbara Whitman, who's a curator.
Barbara is a curator of black dolls. I met her because it was a gentleman who had been assigned by the Smithsonian Museum to come to Philadelphia and document black life. And Barbara was one of the individuals that he photographed.
Okay.
He had this fantastic picture of the dolls just overflowing her living room. And so she decided eventually to create a museum. So she has a museum in Philadelphia, almost directly across the street from the Uptown Theater. It's on Broad Street,
Whoa.
called the Doll Museum. And she has over 300 black dolls and lots of memorabilia from black dolls. So she has dolls from the 1800s all the way up to, she probably has a Beyonce doll by now.
Come on.
Yeah,
Wow.
so she has all of these fantastic dolls, and she does these wonderful window displays. I mean, I saw some of the things that she did, like for the public library. They had her there, and she did these wonderful creative exhibits of dolls. And she also has a annual doll festival, Memorial Day weekend. I think it's a 2-day event where she brings black doll providers and creators from all over the country come in to see her exhibit. I have a photo of her with Annie Lee.
Okay.
You're familiar with Annie Lee's artwork, where she does the calendars and
That's
the
right.
figurines. Well, I was able to capture a picture of Barbara with Annie Lee.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to stay in touch with you. You got to tell me what's going on in Philly. I got to come down there sometime. I know about the Black Doll Museum. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you have to see it. It's a wonderful place. And she does workshops, as well as, having the exhibit there for people to come in and see.
And I'm a pastor of a church. Our church is the Imani African Christian Church. We have a wonderful member of our church by the name of Mary Swanson.
Okay.
And Mary Swanson happens to be working with another group of great ladies at Yakofa Amania House, which is an African American center here in Harrisburg. And Yakofa Amania is founded by Jerry Walker and also Rose Watson.
Okay.
Those 2 ladies are fantastic, and they do all kinds of classes and stuff. Well, anyhow, they started a class called Daughters of the Ankh. And Daughters of the Ankh is to train young African-American children, especially, young girls. Initiation into,
Yes.
the rites of passage.
Yes.
And out of that, Mary began to create dolls. I mean, fantastic dolls. And we've been, purchasing them to support Daughters of the Ankh
Okay.
and this and that. But I have to tell Mary about
Yeah,
Barbara
maybe
Whitman.
you can do a show with the
Yes,
2 of them.
indeed. Oh, my goodness,
Yeah,
yeah.
that would
It's
be
It's going
wonderful.
to happen. Yeah, we're going
Okay.
to make sure that they take them down to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Because that it has to happen. But,
Yes.
when I first met you, it was in Philadelphia, at one of the conferences that our buddy put on, Dr. Maurice Henderson, a legend. And you have books.
Yes.
Tell us all about your books.
I have one book called Don't Need No Soaps, My Life is Soap Enough, and soap referring to soap operas. And the title came because so many people were getting caught up in soap operas. Now it's reality shows. And they were so caught up in them that they forgot about their own life. Because I heard somebody talking one day about somebody, and it was like it was a personal family member. It was some character that was on the show. So the book is about my life experience then as a then single woman trying to raise 2 children as a single parent.
Okay.
So there's a large section of the book called the Real Parents Training Manual. And as I began going around doing the book signings and readings, people started saying, you need to be doing parenting training. I said, people know how to parent. They said, no, they don't.
they don't.
So I started looking around, and I realized maybe they don't. And so I've created something I called parenting parties,
Oh.
which is training to help parents and teens survive adolescence with their sanity intact. Because a lot of times when you're in the midst of those hormones, neither side can hear each other. So these classes are designed to be a safe haven for parents and teens to come together and talk to each other
That's great.
in a non-threatening manner. Now, I can do the parents by themselves or the teens by themselves, but when we get them in the same classroom, they're getting the same information. Because, you know, a lot of times you go for training and you come back and people